Managing older employees can be quite an uphill task, especially as a young manager. And that is why today in this video, we are looking at how to effectively manage older employees. My name is Mary Amondo, in charge of training and career advisory services here at Corporate Staffing. And I am joined by our lead trainer in leadership and management, who will be expounding more on this discussion. Thank you so much, Godfrey, for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Great. We are discussing about young managers being able to manage older employees. I know there are quite some challenges that comes with it. So maybe just to begin with, what are some of the challenges that we are most likely to encounter as a young manager when it comes to managing older employees?
Thank you, Mary, for having me. Indeed, this is one of the areas I'm very passionate about, matters people management. And some of the key things I would mention is that most young managers, you will find them in the middle level cadre. And basically, this is one of the toughest jobs in any organization, because before promotion, you all have to do your job, give results, and then they will reward you sometimes with a promotion. You know, these other jobs, you've been trained, you've gone to school, you've been guided, you've been mentored. If you're an accountant, you've gone through your CPS, you've done your BCom, SCCA. Therefore, you're pretty much doing what you've been trained to do. But when it comes to managing others, that's where the gap is, because people assume that this person, because they've been so good at giving results, then they should be good at dealing with people, which is a misconception. So some of the challenges emanate from that mere fact that there is little support, there is little training offered to these young managers. And key things that would be glaring in terms of gaps, one would be generational differences, because when you're dealing with older people, their even style of communication is different. Whereas a young manager would prefer more digital savvy communications, instant feedback and exchange, whereas these older employees would prefer more face-to-face interactions, communication, would also prefer more formal and structured ways of communication. And that stands to bring in a gap in terms of the young manager feeling like the older employees are not as responsive as a young manager would want. Secondly would be perceived, and I'm saying perceived because it's a perception that a young manager is not as experienced. And because of that, therefore, their credibility and authority somehow is shaky, or the older employees see it as lacking. And because of that, there will be a problem with the respect. There will be a problem with communication and basically collaboration. Thirdly, which is also touching on, again, perception, but which is there anyway. When it comes to dealing with older people, one thing that is very challenging is you can only manage things. You can manage processes, but you cannot manage people. People, you lead them. So one of the things that a young manager will be struggling with is they've been so good at execution and giving results. So when it comes to now getting this done through other people, sometimes they tend to want to manage even people. It becomes even a bigger challenge when now you want to manage an older employee, because pretty much whatever you want to tell them is something they've done for a while. And when you start to manage them, now that is when things, there is push and pull, friction, because they're trying also to stand their ground to prove that you're not as knowledgeable as you want to behave. So basically, those are some of the things I could mention for now, but I know people management has so many challenges.
I know.
Yes.
Great. You've touched on now leadership, and this is where my next question comes from. How can now these young managers get to enhance their leadership skills for effectively managing older employees.
Exactly. So, Mary, one of the things that young managers today need to understand is that when you're managing older generations, basically different generations, there is need for you to understand the different expectations from different generations. So your approach has to cut across. Older generations have their own priorities, they have their own motivations. Younger generations, again, with unique considerations as far as being inspired is concerned. So any young manager out there, number one priority is to align yourself to what motivates different generations and then cultivate that. Also, I would mention that it's good for you to invest in yourself. Take time to learn. Take time to invest in yourself in terms of understanding people behaviors, because you're dealing with people behaviors as a manager. Yes.
And there's quite a lot in terms of investing in themselves, getting to maybe even think of taking up a professional training, or so many courses available.
Exactly.
Any final advice you have for a young manager watching this video?
I would say first, congratulations for getting that coveted position in management. I would also add that continuously invest in yourself, seek for programs that broaden your thinking, that will help you to deal with people's difficulties, being ready to have difficult conversations, because that is work that comes with being a manager. So there are so many platforms where you can access this. However, here at Corporate Staffing, you also running one of the most robust programs as far as people management is concerned. We have a leadership course that now draws the distinction between what does it take to manage, what does it take to supervise, what does it take to lead. And I believe that would be a good platform for us to engage and talk more.
Great. Yes. Thank you so much for sharing with us. I believe this has been helpful to you. You found this video very helpful to you. Indeed, if you are in this space, it is key to just pay more attention on wanting to invest in yourself and just to hone your skills, build your capacity more as far as leadership is concerned, because as Godfrey has mentioned, indeed, management is a bit more different when it comes to leading. And that is why I'm encouraging you to click on the link below, get to sign up for our next upcoming leadership and management skills training, and you get to just learn more as far as people management is concerned. We look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.